Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today's going to be a pretty interesting show. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into this topic here. This is going to be a very interesting one, right? Now, as you guys know, I'm a default Clippers supporter because I started supporting the team back in 2019, 2020, when my favorite player at the time, Kawhi Leonard, decided to join the Clippers. Now, prior to that, I've known about the Clippers. It was the Lob City Clippers with Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, Matt Barnes, and so many other players. Very exciting team. One could arguably say at the time that was probably the most electrifying team in the NBA. Obviously, they're the ones that had Lob City and all those different things. But during that Lob City run, I was actually a Laker fan. Now, why was I a Laker fan? Because I'm a Kobe Bryant fan, right? And I think there are two types of fans in the NBA. In sports, really, they're fans that support the teams that are based where they live, right? So if you're in New York, if you're a New Yorker, you're going to support the Knicks. If you're in California, you're going to support, that's a bad example, but you get the point. If you're in Miami, you're either going to support the Magic or the Heat, et cetera, et cetera. And then some people basically adopt second teams, right? They may be from one particular place, but because they frequent another place a lot, then they support that team. I give you guys a prime example of this. When the Miami Heat were in the Eastern Conference Finals, if I looked courtside, who did I see in a lot of those courtside games apart from DJ Khaled? I saw P. Diddy. Puff Daddy was sitting there right at the corner, but Puff Daddy's from New York. But I'm sure he spent so much time in Miami throughout his career and his life that I think he considers Miami to be one of his second homes. So therefore you see him at a game rooting on a Heat game, but he's not from Miami. He's from New York. So this type of thing happens all the time. So you have those type of people, and then you have people that follow players because a certain player maybe attracts them to a sport. And then if that player stays with that particular team for a long time, then ultimately they become a fan of that team. Now, I was a Lakers fan for the longest time because Kobe Bryant made me a fan of the team, right? Hard not to be a Laker fan when you got Kobe Bryant coaching the team. But ever since Kobe retired, funny enough, one of my biggest fears prior to Kobe retiring, I was like, man, who the hell am I going to root for now? Who's going to be my new favorite player? But then, obviously, I heard Kobe was working with Kawhi, and then that's how it started gravitating. I started following Kawhi in Toronto, then when he went to the Raptors, and ultimately when he went to the Clippers. So I kind of became a Clipper fan that way. Now, backstory. I have only been to California one time in my life. I've only been to LA one time. And it was a very, very interesting experience. We got a lot of time. I'm going to give you guys the backstory real quick. It was a very, very interesting experience for me. I went there with family, and I remember like going through the highway. And based on what I saw, I was like kind of looking over the fence of the highway. And I saw something, I was like, did I say what? And it's listening to hip hop growing up, listening to West Coast music. I'm like, yo, that's the Watts. Like, yo, this is crazy. Like, so it was a crazy experience. Then you get there, and I'm looking at the place, and I'm looking around. I'm like, yo, this place is real. I mean, this is the weather. This is the vibe. I couldn't believe it, right? I couldn't believe it. Went to I think his Universal Studios. So moved around LA, moving around, and it went to Beverly Hills, all these different places. I'm like, man, this place is pretty nice, right? It was a pretty nice thing. But I'm somebody that's visited, right? There are people that have actually lived there for a very long time. Now, where am I going with this? For the people that call themselves Laker fans, and for the people that actually live in LA that are Laker fans, it's a totally different thing being a Laker fan in LA versus being a Laker fan from far away. Now, what am I referring to? Recently, I was listening to an episode from the Playoff Paul George podcast. Paul George podcast, right? Playoff P podcast, whatever. And he interviews different people, but on this particular show, he had a highly requested guest who was Terance Mann. Terance Mann of Clippers, if y'all know him, you know him. He was on there, and they were talking about a range of things, Kawhi stories and all of that. But then there's a clip going around the internet that was basically centered on Paul George and Terance Mann talking about the stark differences between being a Clipper in LA versus being a Lakers player in LA, all the way down to the facility where both teams reside. So what we want to do is want to quickly play this audio. Is a very short clip, about a minute or so, and then we're going to come back and react to the show, to what they had to say. Take a listen to that there.
At Crypto, we shared a space there. It's a weird dynamic. I was telling them we'll go in the weight room and Bron got his we don't touch
with his logo on it.
Yeah, logoed out.
The workers, you know what I'm saying? You know they're all Lakers fans.
Right, yeah.
They be like, this way, man.
You're
this
right,
way,
right.
Come on. You this way, come on.
Right, right. Like, it feels like we're the little bros over there.
They treat y'all different.
They treat us different.
The different lighting in the home game.
Yeah, they is like upscale.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird dynamic. It's a Lakers town.
Sometimes I'll walk in a certain place and I could feel that somebody's a Lakers fan. They know who I am.
Yeah, yeah.
They might say something. They might treat you a little weird and like, yeah, they take that shit way too serious.
It's just funny to me, like if I'm somewhere and they like, you should be a Laker or come to LA. And I'm like
I'm in LA.
Bro, what?
You could feel it. It's crazy out there. You could really feel how they feel about the Lakers and how they feel about the Clippers.
So you heard their comments. Now, this is incredible. This is incredible. They said, because you guys know they share the same arena, which is always quite interesting, given the fact that they're constantly changing it. And I can understand Steve Ballmer walking in there like, bro, I'm sick of seeing these people's faces. I got enough money. I can go build my own damn arena. But it's quite interesting to hear, like, you walk over there, you see LeBron James weights, or you walk down the hallway, you see a Laker player going over there, or you go over there, you see another guy over there, and you hear the equipment people saying like, it's you, it's over there. And over. He said you can even feel it when you go around the city, right? That the Lakers really, like, it's a Laker town. It's a Laker town. And if you're a Clipper, you're like the little brother in the city. Now, it's one thing when you hear people talk about this. It's another thing when you're hearing it from the vantage point of one of the players or some of the players that actually play for the other organization. It's quite surprising. It is really quite now. Growing up in New York has kind of like a similar situation. In New York, the main teams are this. Football is the New York Giants. All right, growing up, you're a Giants fan. They have the Jets, but the Jets fans are far and in between. I don't think I met a lot of dudes that were Jets fans. They're there. I think the Jets are in Queens, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think their stadium is in Queens. The arena's in Queens. But for the most part, it's New York Giants fans. New York also got two teams. They got two teams. You had the New York Knicks, and then you had the New Jersey Nets, I guess, who belong to New Jersey. But now you have the Brooklyn Nets. Even though the Brooklyn Nets are in New York, in Brooklyn, the vast majority of New Yorkers are Knicks fans. Now, as somebody growing up in New York, I don't remember us being like, "Yo, get out of here, man! Get your dusty ass out of here! You a Nets fan." Or if you're a Yankee fan, "Yo, get your dusty ass up out of here! You a New York Mets fan." I never saw that. I saw dudes rocking Mets fitted. I think Mets are also in Queens, if I'm not mistaken, because I could be wrong about that. I don't know. But New York is predominantly a Yankees, Giants, Knicks town, which is crazy. Man, New York got a lot of teams, man. Anyway, so I can understand it. I can kind of relate to it a little bit. But the way that they describe it, because we produced a lot of Clippers content. We produce Lakers content as well, but whenever is this Clippers versus Lakers content, yo, these Laker fans don't be playing in the comment section, son. These dudes don't be playing. They be wild. They be ready for the Clipper fans, man. How much you got? Clippers could win a playoff series. Yeah, but your ass is still dusty. That's all you got. Congratulations, you won a playoff series. We got 16 championships. I'm like, Jesus Lord. It's unbelievable. Now, I think there's some Laker fans that have some grace for me because they're like, well, he a Kobe fan, so I'm not rocking with him, but I'm gonna watch him because he a Kobe fan, so I can't really, what I'm saying, but I'm watching him. I don't know why he over there with them. He's supposed to be here with us, but I'm still watching him. And then you got some of them like, yo, get your crusty ass up out of here. You are Clippers. It's really like that. So to me, it's quite interesting to hear these guys say this. That it's a totally different thing. These guys are not the first guys that said this. What's his name? Patrick Beverley said the same thing. And ironically, even when Kobe Bryant was playing, I heard him take a few shots at the Clippers. Now, Will LA ever be a Clippers town? I think they have a Clippers town. I think they have as much chance of being a Clippers town as the Mets have a chance of New York being a Mets town. It's like saying the Mets are going to surpass the Yankees. How is that going to happen? I don't think it will ever be that. I think if the Clippers won some championships, I think they will be more respected. But even if they won one championship, I can see a typical Laker fans like, yo, man, get your dusty ass up out of here. All you got is one championship. We can't be taking you seriously. Laker fans ain't letting it go. Laker fans are not letting it go. To me, it's all fun. You know, I guess some people take it more seriously than others. But I said, hey, let's just approach this thing from a lighthearted standpoint. So what I want to know from you guys is simply, especially the people living out there, is it really like that? Is it really a Laker fan? And do y'all really be going at these Clipper fans? Clipper fans, let me know, man. How y'all feeling out there? Is it do these Laker fans make it pretty hot for you guys when you go outside? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Again, if you want today's full show, make sure you check out the Dreamerspro podcast, pinned in the comments below. Catch you guys on the next one.